Hi, my name is Ava Howard. I go to Brentwood High School in Nashville, Tennessee. I'm here with Mia Moody-Ramirez to talk about the journalism industry.
Hi.
When did you get into journalism?
I've been a journalist for more than 20 years now. I started reporting when I was in college. I had an internship at the local newspaper, which was the Bryan College Station Eagle. I also worked for the newspaper on campus. At the time, they had a journalism department at Texas A&M, and so I wrote for the battalion. That was a long time ago. You took me back with that question.
Why did you get into journalism?
I got into journalism because I wanted to write. Writing is in our genes. My mother is a writer. My mother has published a book. I have uncles and aunts who are also writers. My nephew is a writer. And it's just in the genes. So I love writing. And growing up, I always told my mother that I wanted to be a writer. And she told me, well, you're going to have to do something that will allow you to earn a living. And so I thought journalism was the next best thing. Instead of writing books, I decided to write for a newspaper. And I
you thought about writing books at first?
Yes. I always told her that I wanted to write books, and she told me, well, it's great to have that ambition, but you need to be able to support yourself, and it is difficult to publish books.
So I'm guessing you were a good English student in high school?
I was a pretty good English student. It's something that I had to work on.
Who influenced you into this career?
I would say first and foremost my mother. My mother is what I call a dream maker. She always helped I have 3 siblings, and she helped each of us reach our goals in life. I have a brother who's a professional football coach. I have another brother who owns a computer repair business, and I have a sister who's a bodybuilder. And my mother, she was very instrumental in that, as well as my dad. They both encouraged us to go for our dreams and to not be afraid to achieve our dreams.
What are your favorite magazines or newspapers to read?
I like to read trade publications. Right now I read magazines that focus on public relations because that's one of the areas that I cover. I teach PR courses. I also like to read magazines that focus on new media and social media. So mostly just trade publications. Growing up, I loved to read like Glamour magazine and Vogue and fashion magazines, but I've kind of gone away from that because now I mostly focus on magazines that will help me in my career.
How do you think journalism has changed over the years?
I think journalism has changed tremendously over the years. You were talking about some of the phases earlier and how the industry has evolved. I think it has evolved over the years, but it has really changed like in the last 5 to 10 years with the internet. The internet has changed the industry tremendously. As you know, many newspapers have closed down. However, online media has filled that void. So I would say the biggest change would be the impact that online media or the internet has had on the publication industry.
Yes, I agree with that. Where do you see it heading?
I see it continuing to grow. I see more people blogging, more online publications. I don't see the industry dying. At one time I was afraid because I am a college professor in the journalism field. I was afraid that the industry would die. But I no longer have that fear because we have students nowadays who are hired to create a social media presence for companies. So we have not seen that decrease that we originally thought that we would see.
So you do feel like this is an important field, journalism?
Definitely. I still feel like it's a very important field. I don't think it's going to die anytime soon. I don't think it will ever die because people will always have that hunger and that thirst for news. And so as long as people have that hunger and thirst for news, there's going to be a need for writers, a need for reporters. The way they disseminate that information will be different. Like it may be in a blog instead of a newspaper. However, the need for reporters and writers will always be there.
Yes. Do you think journalism is a good career to have?
I definitely think it's a good career to embark upon. Many people might discourage their children from going into the journalism industry because they believe that there aren't any jobs there. But as I said before, that's not necessarily true. There are jobs still there with the newspapers and with other outlets, with online outlets, with magazines, with newsletters, with just you name it. And there's people who need writers. So I think it's definitely a great field. It's also a great major. I teach journalism courses at Baylor University, and I always tell students and tell their parents this is a great first major for anyone. Whether you decide to go to law school or you decide to own your own business, you need to be able to write, you need to be able to communicate, and you need to be able to disseminate messages in different platforms. And that's what we teach.
Now, I want to be a screenwriter, a screenplay writer. So how do you think learning journalism will affect my screenwriting capabilities? Do you think that'll enhance?
I think it will
skill?
definitely enhance. Anytime that you practice your writing skills, it's only going to enhance whatever you decide to do. If you can practice writing and you decide to open up your own business, you're going to have to write letters on a daily basis, or you're going to have to write end of the year reports or financial reports. So you need to practice your writing wherever you can. And on top of that, it will help you market yourself. Once you get your famous screenplay that will make millions, I'm sure,
Yes.
you're going to be able to, you need to be able to guide and direct your PR team or your team of writers, the people who market you. You need to be able to tell them, no, this is not the route that I would like to take. You need to know something about the journalism industry and how to market yourself, because you can't always depend on other people to do that for you.
Yes, that's good. Well, thank you for letting me talk to you. Definitely learned a lot.
Well, thank you for interviewing me, and I wish you the best of luck in your career endeavors.
Thank you. You too.